Got a couple of things to show you, a couple of the same item really. They're from Ravemen. Ravemen have sent me a couple of bike lights to test out and try out because I'm doing a lot of cycling at the moment on my landscape channel. If you want to have a look at that, take a look over there. Basically I'm doing a charity ride and stuff like that. And yeah, Ravemen have reached out and sent me a couple of lights. Now I've left them on in the background over there because apparently they've got an auto off. So I've left them running down there just to see if they go off on their own, because I've not actually seen them go off because I've been riding my bike and using them on the bike and I've not actually stopped long enough for them to switch off. But they've got an auto off and a movement sensor as far as I make out. And if they do go off, just let me know, shout. So yeah, basically we've got two lights, a front light and a rear light. Now Ravemen do lots and lots of lights. If you go onto their website, which is flashing up on the screen behind me, there is a lot of different varieties of lights they do. They do these big, powerful, extreme high intense lights with programmers and on and off buttons and stuff like that. They do the high directional lights. We've got a big array of lights. I'm not going to try and work out all the ones we've got because there's lots and lots of them. And the same with the rear lights. If you go onto their rear light section, again they do these little tiny weeny pocket lights. They do the bigger ones, which I'm going to show you down here. They've all got different functions and settings on them, and I think they even do an alarm type of light which tells you that there's someone coming along behind you as well, a proximity sensor. So yeah, Ravemen do a good section of lights, and it's well worth checking out their website to try and find one that just suits your needs, whether it's a tiny little pocket one or something big and bright and illuminating everything. The one they've sent me is this one. I don't really want to move it. I'm going to hold the box up for you to show you. It's this one. It's the FR300. Now the FR300 is a daytime running light. It flashes. It's got different flashing functions to it. It's got 3 flash modes. It's got 3 standard on modes. So you've got visual bright mode. So if you're driving at night time, you might want to have that visual bright mode so you can see where you're going down the lanes and the trails. And then you've got 3 different depths of brightness for that. High level is 200 lumens, medium level is 100 lumens, and low level is 50 lumens. And on low level it'll run for 14.5 hours, and on high level it'll run for 4 hours. So yeah, they're pretty good. They've got that nice little function that you can have the light on all the time, as it is in the background at the moment. Or they do 3 flashing levels. Now the 3 flashing levels are quite intense. One of them is quite a bright, like a strobe light, and if you don't like strobe lights, look away now. It's a bright strobe light, and it's quite intimidating for oncoming drivers, so it actually makes you stand out and quite visible. And then you've got a slower pulsing light, and then you've got a slower on-off pulsing light. And again, I can give you some times and durations for these. Your warning flash number 1 is 300 lumens, so it's really quite bright and intense, and that'll give you 9-hour runtime. Your rapid flash is 100 lumens, and that's 12.5 hours. And your slow flashing is 100 lumens, so it's a little bit dimmer, but it'll run for 24 hours. So that'll run for a whole weekend just flashing away on its own. It's IPX6 rated, so it's IPX6 waterproof, which means it's not going to worry about getting it wet in the rain and stuff like that. I wouldn't drop your bike in the river and leave it in there for long. But it is IPX6, which means it will be okay in the water if it gets wet and getting rainy. But the beautiful thing about this, and this is what I asked if I could take a look at when they reached out and said, well, you know, would you take a look at my lights? And I said, yeah, fine, I would. It takes the Garmin. So basically the mount on the bottom of the light, and again, I don't want to pick it up because I want to see if it's going to go off, but the light on the bottom, it's got a function to fit it straight onto your Garmin mount. So if you've got a Garmin mount on your bike, great, because you just take your Garmin off, you put it onto your Garmin mount, you click it in place, and then your Garmin will then fit on the top and lock in place on the top. You've only got one mounting system. For those people that want to ride very, very minimal, it's an absolute perfect way of dropping your light on, putting your Garmin clip back on the top, and then if you don't want the light on in the daytime, you only want it at night time, you don't have to worry about having that extra mount on your bike to sit in there. So yeah, an absolutely fantastic, brilliant idea. It's also got a little lanyard as well, so you can drop the little lanyard over it to stop it from falling off. If it doesn't come with a mount of its own, there's no mount actually in the box, which is a bit of a shame. It would have been nice if it come with an actual mount to mount it, because you've got to buy a specific Garmin mount, but I'm assuming you buy this to fit your Garmin mount anyway. It also comes with a Wahoo mount, which is this little plastic, in this little plastic bag. You get this little Wahoo mount that you can screw to the bottom and to the top, so if you haven't got a Garmin and you've got a Wahoo, it'll fit that. And I'm not sure whether there's other mounts you can buy for it. It'd be worth checking out their website and having a look, but it does come with a Wahoo mount. I've never heard of a Wahoo, so you might know more than I do. Also USB-C charging, so it'll charge with a USB-C cable, which is very simple. So if you've got a little power bank, you can plug it in and charge it as you go. It doesn't come with a charging cable. Again, it's just a little unit on its own. So the one thing it does have on the 300 series, because you do a 300 series and I think you do a 160 series. The 160 is basically a smaller version of this. It does the same sort of functions, but it's a slightly smaller version. The beauty with the 300, the FR300, is this light isn't just a cycle light or a bike light. It's actually a little power bank as well. So while you've got your Garmin clipped onto the top of your unit, you can then plug in the USB socket into the bottom and plug it into the back of the output socket. So you've got an input and an output USB on the back. It will actually charge your Garmin for you, which is obviously going to reduce your light time, the power of your light. So it will keep your Garmin charged all day, which I think is a really, really nice idea. The only thing it does say, and it says on the notes, and it says on the screen, and it says on the information, that you cannot charge your phone and other high-powered accessories for charging, because it will damage the unit. It's not designed to charge a big high-capacity unit. Battery-wise, we've got a 1200 milliamp 3.7 volt rechargeable battery. That's the battery built into the unit. The dimensions, if you're interested, is 82 millimeters by 60 millimeters by 25.5 millimeters, and it weighs 75 grams. And it's not going to switch itself off, is it? So I'm going to bring it up here and show you. I'm going to turn it off just so you can see what we're doing at the moment. So there's the unit. You see on the bottom you've got the socket that sits into your Garmin. You just literally click it in, and on the top then you've got your port to take your Garmin, and it literally drops on as simple as that, and then your Garmin will stay on. Like I say, it comes with a lanyard, so you can attach this lanyard over the top of your mount so it doesn't fall off for any reason whatsoever. But it's not going to fall off. The Garmin's don't fall off, so neither should this. Yeah, it's a nice little unit. It's nice and lightweight, even though it's a little power bank. It is quite nice and lightweight, and I will be getting some use out of it. And what I do like about it, it's a wide angle. So when you switch the power on, let's switch it on, and we'll put it on to a low so it's not flashing. So it's on a low light now. So you've got the light coming out the front, you've got this nice intense light coming out the front, so when it's shining into your face, it's giving you that nice direct beam. But as you turn it to the side, you can also see you've got side light on it. This is a very, very wide angle lens, which basically means that when you're riding your bike sideways on, you're giving people awareness that you're there, and you can see from the side as well. So it's not just a light that's shining forwards like that and you're not getting any sideways warning. You're actually getting sideways warning. I think that's a really, really good idea, and yeah, one that I'm going to be trying out and using quite regularly, hopefully, because I am going to be doing a little bit of bike packing, and bike packing you tend to need lights, and that's what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using that light to give me my night vision. Right, over to the next one. The next one is the rear light, and again, it's not going to turn itself off, is it? So I might as well pick it up and show you in a moment. So we've got the rear light, and the rear light they have sent me is the TR500. So the TR500 is a rear light. Again, it has 3 different constant functions and 2 different flashing modes. Flashing modes are quite intense flashing modes. They're very, very bright. They pulse, they flash, and they really do give off a really good warning to the background. So when cars are approaching you from the rear, this is going to be standing out for miles. It really does pump out a bright light. If you don't want the bright light flashing, a constant annoying flashing light, you can have it on a constant light. So it's on 3 different modes of light. You've got different levels of brightness. I've got some power outputs for you just to show you what there are. So on our higher level, we've got 100 lumens brightness, which is 4.5 hours. The medium level is 50 lumens of brightness, and it's 7.5 hours. And on low, it's 20 lumens of brightness, which is 17 hours. That's a long time for a light to be running. The warning flashing, we got 500 lumens. I did say it was bright, didn't I? That's 18 hours, and that's going to really pump your eyes out. Rapid flashing, 100 lumens, 21 hours, and slow flashing, 10 hours for 100 lumens. It's IPX4 rated, so it's not quite as strong, I think, as the IPX6. It's IPX4, which means it's anti-spray. It's going to be fine for getting splashes off of puddles, the rain and stuff like that. But again, do not drop it in the river because it's not going to survive. Now, this light is a little bit unique to the fact that it's got a motion sensor in it. So apparently when you brake, and I've not been able to test this because I've only been riding the bike and I can't actually see it working, so I will get someone out to test it and just check it out on the background. But apparently as you're riding the bike, the brake light, the sensor detects motion of braking and stopping, and it intenses the light. I don't know how that works. Very clever. If you have one and you've used it, and yeah, show me I don't know how you can show me a picture, because it's very difficult to show you that. So I'm going to give you some spec on it. It's a 1600 milliamp, 3.7 volt rechargeable Li-ion battery, Li-ion. Its dimensions is 41 millimeters by 33 millimeters by 62 millimeters, and it weighs 77 grams. So it's a little bit heavy. It's not one of these really tiny lightweight lights, but it has got a decent sized battery in it. It's going to last a long time, and it's got this, like I say, it's got this sensor in it. Now it's designed for clipping around your seat post. I had it around my frame on the back of the bike. I've got a spider rack on the back of my bike from Aero, and it's got a little upright post, and I've just clipped it on there. So it basically works. On the side you have these two little wings and this rubber mount. So you push the rubber mount onto the back. The rubber mount then fits against your B post, and then you take one of these two different sizes, because they send you two different size straps. You take one of the straps, you hook it on to the side of your light, and then you pull that round, and then you hook that onto the other side, and then it doesn't come off. It stays on there, and it's solid. It really does. I've had this bouncing over the top of rocks and boulders and stuff like that, and it just cannot come off. It's really, really good. And when you finish with it, you just literally unclip it and take it off. So yeah, really, really good little design. Very, very simple to use, and you can clip it onto any. I suppose you can even clip it onto your bag if you wanted to. And again, USB-C in the bottom. Comes with a little USB-C cable, this one does, and also your intense light. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown. There's your bright flashing light, and you can see, again, it is seriously bright and very attracting or detracting, if you want, whatever you want to do. And then you've got 3 different levels of brightness. Both of these lights, when you turn them off, they remember the last memory, and they'll come back on the last memory, so you don't have to keep flicking through all the time and bringing up the one that you want on. So it's a solid and lightweight anodized aluminium body. So it's got an aluminium body, so it's not going to rust. It's designed for life, really, isn't it, in a way? But don't take that literally. Again, with this, the other thing what I like about this as well, it's not just a rear light that you can see on this there, it's got a side light on it as well. So it illuminates all the way around, so it doesn't matter which orientation you've got this light, it's illuminated all the way around. So when you've got cars driving or you're pulling out of junctions, you're getting that vision from the side. So a lot of lights, you just see them go in one direction and you don't actually get to see the light. But this one, you can see the light in all directions. So yeah, it's a really, really good design. So let's spoil the fun a little bit. Let's give you some prices. So the price for the FR300, the one with the built-in power pack, is £60. So it's £59.99. The rear light with the brake sensor built into it and the very, very bright flashing light is £65, so that's £64.99. Any links I get for affiliates for discount codes for you, I will be putting in a description, and I'll put them in the top comment as well. Have a look on that. If I can get you a discount, I will get you a discount, I promise. I'm going to be taking a look at some other Ravemen lights eventually when they send me some. They've got this extremely powerful ultra bright light that they'd like me to have a look at once I've done this. So yeah, stand by for a bit of a brightness light session. So that's it. I've got my notes. Notes are all done. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I do have a landscape channel. I do a lot more photography on there. I do bike rides. I've got a kayak and stuff like that. So a bit more adventurous. This is just basically a gear channel to show you what I've got in my hand and what has been sent. So yeah, thanks for watching. Ciao for now. See you soon. And yeah, get out and ride your bike. Stay safe and get something bright and illuminating. Ciao.